Good morning and welcome to this presentation with the Swedish Fund Selection Agency. My name is Viktor Ström. I'm here with Erik Fransson, Executive Director of the Swedish Fund Selection Agency. This morning we have announced two award decisions in two small cap equity categories. During this presentation, Erik will provide some more details regarding the results and the process. We'll start by talking about the European small cap equity category, continue with the Swedish small cap equity category, and give some more in-depth analysis regarding the Swedish small cap equity category. We will also provide you some highlights from the procurement report that we also published this morning. You can find that one on ftn.se, so please after this have a look at it. It has a lot of interesting insights regarding process and results. If you have any questions during this presentation, please submit them in the meeting chat. We will try to answer as many as possible in the end, but for now I'll leave it over to Erik.
Thank you, Victor, and good morning, everybody. As Victor said, we have two procurements to report to you today, European small caps and Swedish small caps, and we will start with the European search. Despite being a very attractive category, we think, European small cap, we only have approximately 6 billion in assets under management in the category, and prior to the procurement, only 5 funds in the category. Almost all of the capital today is allocated to the 4 biggest funds on the platform today. In the search, we received 15 tenders. 12 of them qualified, 3 of them didn't meet the mandatory requirements. And we interviewed 5 of them. The difference between, we thought we would interview more than 5, but there were a number of funds that didn't meet the minimum requirements from a point perspective. We interviewed 5 and we awarded 4 mandates to manage the funds on the platform going forward. Danske Invest, JP Morgan, SEB, European Småbolag, Swedbank Robur. Very small changes to the category. We went only from 5 to 4 funds. 99% of the savers will stay in existing funds. So the main change is actually the fee is being reduced from 40 basis points to 32. That's the main change to the category. The diagram, when it comes to quality and price, illustrates that there are a number of funds that actually received quite a good high points on quality, but very low points on price. So it was sort of a close race when it comes to the award decision in European small caps. Going into Swedish small caps, this is also a very attractive category for the savers. This is a large category on the platform. We have 180,000 savers today. 34 billion Swedish in assets under management, 14 funds today, and 10 funds will receive our mandate going forward. In total, we received 19 tenders, all qualified, when it comes to the mandatory requirements, and no tenders were rejected prior to evaluations. So they were all evaluated. We intended to interview 18 managers. We managed only to interview 17 because 2 tenders didn't meet the required minimum score to qualify for an interview. So we had 17 interviews. 11 out of the 17 decided to lower the fees one more time after the interviews. And we ended up with a list of 10 funds with 10 managers that are being awarded a contract and a mandate to manage the savers' assets going forward. A long list, AMF, Diner och Gerge småbolag, Aktiespararna, Kliens, Danske, Handelsbanken, Lannebo, Nordea, SEB, Robur. 5 funds are new to the platform and 5 existed prior to the procurement. Also here, some managers were close, but didn't make it. And maybe this diagram is a little bit more concentrated than the European small cap search. So as usual, it's a tight race when it comes to the last places, but we are very happy with the outcome when it comes to the 10 managers. Changes to the category. We are going from 14 to 10. Out of the 10 managers, as I said, 5 are new to the platform. And when we look at the universe, the last 3 years has been the procure funds have performed better than the existing range of funds and also better than the Carnegie Small Cap Index. But it's been a very sort of special period. We have seen quite a big spread when it comes to performance, depending on the philosophy and the focus of the managers in the small cap universe, depending on what the focus has been. There's been quite a big change in performance. Fees are down 40%. The new range when it comes to procured managers between 8 and 35 basis points. Before the range were 14 to 54 and the average is down from 34 to 20 basis points. So we are happy with that as well, and I think that constitutes a very cost-efficient universe. So the cost efficiency in combination with the quality makes us quite certain that we have a very attractive offering going forward when it comes to the small cap, Swedish small cap equities. We also achieved, when we look at the style box, quite a good spread when it comes to managers focusing on different segments in the small cap universe. And we're happy to see that. It's not something that we can really focus on in our searches. We look for different styles, but since we are not focusing that much on past performance, and we're just looking at the quality of the manager, we usually end up with a good spread when it comes to different styles. Higher focus on past performance would have resulted in a more concentrated universe, depending on sort of the best absolute returns in the segment in the past 3 years. So we can see 5 funds are focusing more on the sort of larger small cap universe, and 5 are focusing more on the smaller companies and even micro caps. We spent some time on liquidity. It's been sort of important for us. We are a big investor, having 35 billion. We don't want to be trapped in funds that have poor liquidity or a segment that is not liquid enough to handle the assets. The premium pension system will continue to grow, and we think the small cap universe will benefit from further inflows going forward as well. So we want to make sure that we have a suitable category depending on given the characteristics of the universe. So we looked at this. We can see now when we have the result, there will be a turnover of 8 billion. 8 billion will be sold, 8 billion will be invested. The net flows are 0 in the category, and this is a category that has had substantial outflows in the last 12 months, almost 25 billion of outflows going to other segments of the market. So this is a net 0 transition. 8 billion can be compared with the daily turnover in the small cap segment. It's also 8 billion, so it's only 1 billion, one day of trades. And we believe that managers are very well equipped, very good managers to handle outflows. We also think that the market is very good on finding flows and and block trades and such. So we think after discussions with the managers where we will redeem our shares that this will be handled in a very good way going forward. And also worth to mention is that this is a sort of short-term hassle to change funds. It's doable. It will not be sort of major difficulties. And also this should be compared to the long-term benefits for the savers of being invested in high-quality funds with the very cost-efficient fees as well. Implementation. All managers that participated in the procurement will receive a formal decision and bespoke feedback report today. Winning managers will be invited to sign fund agreements in June and also welcome to onboard meetings. And funds currently in the category that are not selected will be closed for new investments and will be redeemed and deregistered. And responsible for implementation on our side, this is the Swedish Pension Agency. They're also responsible for transfer of funds and providing information to the savers. And if necessary, and that's sort of up to the managers of the funds being redeemed, there will be specific needs can be adapted in the implementation process as well to make sure that there is a smooth process going forward. There will be more information available if you download our reports at ftn.se. There's one report for each search available, so that is possible to download today on our website.
Perfect. Thank you, Erik. And to you listening, we are happy to answer your questions. So if you do have any questions, please submit them in the meeting chat. We will be here for a while longer. We'll see how long. I'd like to start with one question. You mentioned briefly the outflows in the category of Swedish small cap equities in the last 3 or 5 years. There's also been the absolute returns within the category has been weak, close to zero for the old universe. And also it's a very niche category. There is discussions about liquidity and so on. Can you explain, despite all this, why do you think the Swedish small cap equity category is suitable for the premium pension system?
One aspect is, of course, the long-term savings that you have in the premium pension system. You have a very long-term view. You could be saving for 30, 40, 50, 60 years on the platform. And having a long-term view on small caps, I think the old truth that small caps will return slightly higher than large cap will be true going forward as well, even though we had a tough period behind us the last 4 or 5 years. I think that will come back, and also I think it's a good diversifier to global equities as well, being more focused on Sweden and Nordics and other parts of the sector rather than the large tech companies as well. So I think it's a good complement in the portfolio, and also it should be able to give you attractive returns and a good pension at the end of the day as well.
And I was thinking, generally, before procurement starts, the Swedish Fund Selection Agency decides how many funds will be procured. If we, in the Swedish small cap category, 10 funds was decided to be procured. It's 34 billions within the category. If we compare that to, for example, the global equity category, that was 200 billion and 14 funds. 10 seems quite a lot. Can you explain why you ended up with that number?
We're spending a lot of time on coming up with a number, and maybe that's one of the most difficult things in the whole process. And in order to be able to treat everybody equal and follow our laws, we need to decide that prior to the search. In the perfect world, that should be a lot easier to decide at the end of the search, where we know the tenders and price and so on. So we want to find a number that gives us the best combination of price and quality. And small many times you have a capacity constraints in many small cap funds as well. So we don't want to add too much assets to managers as well, in order to get as an attractive price as possible. And some manager might not be interested to get our funds either, because they're able to use their capacity in other places where they get higher fees as well. So you want to find that's why you need slightly more managers in the small cap universe to get a good balance between price and quality. And I think that the results show that as well, that we ended up in a good position. You also cannot have too many managers, because then competition will be less efficient. You will get higher prices and lower quality managers if you increase the number of managers even further.
No, I see. Interesting. And regarding the, you mentioned that quite briefly regarding the European equity small cap search. 99% of the pension savers will still be in the same fund as prior to the procurement. Why is that? How can you end up? Because it's a very small change.
It's a very small change, and that's, I mean, the outcome is dependent on the tenders coming in. And unfortunately, there were a number of good managers that submitted tenders as well, that didn't make it. And I think the 4 tenders we ended up with was the best 4, given the tenders coming in, and that's why it is sometimes.
Yeah, and so about 99% of the savers will be able to keep the same fund as before, but at a lower cost.
Yeah.
Which will have a slight positive effect, obviously, on the long-term value creation there.
But I hope going forward that European small caps will be more savers will look at that categories as well. I mean, if you're searching for good small cap companies, it's better to have a larger universe. Maybe sometimes, and Europe is quite a good universe to hunt for good small cap companies.
Great. I think if we don't have any further questions, we will finish. Let's see, we might have some more. Let's see. In both categories, you can say that the usual suspects were winners. In other words, the biggest funds will remain on the platform. What does that tell you about the procurement process?
I think the process is indifferent. I mean, we're looking for the best managers. I think what's natural maybe is that if you are a big player on the platform today, naturally you will, maybe the probability that you will submit a tender is higher. But from an evaluation perspective, all tenders are treated equal, regardless if you're on the platform today or if you are not on the platform. And we saw that in the Swedish small cap search as well. 5 funds were new to the platform. 5 of the 4, only 5 of the 14 old ones survived the process, so to say. So I think that also proves that we are quite indifferent when it comes to that aspect.
That's true, because it's in terms of, you mentioned it's 8 billion that will be transferred, but in terms of the change in funds, it's 14 funds, of them 9 will not be there anymore, and 5 are new. So it's quite a large change in terms of the overall offering to savers within the category. With
and change is good. I mean, change means that we are improving the offering.
Yeah, and I guess usual suspects or not.
If they're good, maybe they're good. Usual suspects. I mean,
yeah. True.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we'll do that as the last one. So thank you very much for listening. Please, you can read more about both of these procurements on the Swedish Fund Selection Agency website, ftn.se, where you can download the procurement reports. You can see all companies that tendered and read more in depth about the process. Yeah, obviously if you are a tender that has participated in this, you should probably by now have gotten an individual bespoke feedback report, and otherwise you will get that during the day. So I think that's all for us today.
Thank you all.
Thank you for listening. Bye.